Go.
Okay, so we're filling up this transmission in a flatbed tow truck. It's taken a long time, but I wanted to talk about Neil Young's Words Between the Lines of Age. And today's date is February 10th, 2022. Neil Young is in the news lately. And Words Between the Lines of Age. I'll recite it, but I'm just going to say going in that we're really referencing the parable of the sower. It's one of the things. It's one of the biblical references we're making here in this song, I think. So someone and someone were down by the pond looking for something to plant in the yard. Out in the fields, they were turning the soil. I'm sitting here hoping this water will boil. When I look through the windows out on the road, they're bringing me presents and saying hello, singing words between the lines of age. Words between the lines of age. If I was a junk man selling you cars, washing your windows and shining your stars, thinking your mind was my own in a dream, what would you wonder and how would it seem? Living in castles a bit at a time, the king started laughing and talking in rhyme, singing words between the lines of age. Words between the lines of age. So, someone and someone were down by the pond looking for something to plant in the yard. My argument is that there's something they're looking to plant in the yard. It's a reference back to the parable of the sower. They're planting the word. Okay? They're planting the word, right? Or what some people interpret as God's message. So they're planting the word. Now, so they're out in the fields, they're turning the soil. I'm sitting here hoping this water will boil. Okay, the soil in the parable of the sower stands for the different types of soil. Stands for the different type of people. Some hear the word and you know it never sinks in. Some hear the word, but it doesn't sink in enough, and so it doesn't take root well. Sometimes it's among the thorn bushes, and so the concerns of this world choke off the word, and then some of it falls on good soil, and the people bear fruit. So you can refer back to the parable of the sower, but so when it says out in the fields that we're turning the soil, I'm sitting here hoping this water will boil. Okay, there's another biblical reference there. Okay, so you have the soil is kind of talking about the different kinds of people. They're turning the soil, the different, the people that hear the word, the different types of soil, right? Now, I'm sitting here hoping this water will boil. Okay? Now, what kind of water are we talking about there? Okay? I want you to think back to the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman at the well. Jesus asked her for a drink. Right? And he says, he says, she starts saying, "You're a Jew and you're asking me, a Samaritan, for the drink," and he says something about, "If you knew who you were talking to, you'd ask me for a drink and I'd give you," and she says, "Well, where are you going to get this water from?" You know what I mean? And he says, "Well, I can give you life-giving water. Whoever drinks of the water that comes up out of this well is going to be thirsty again. The water I give you, if when you drink that, you're never going to be thirsty again." And so she asks, "Well, give me some of this water." And he says, "Well, go and get your husband." Remember that one? Okay, so you can refresh, you go back and look at that. But when he says, "I'm sitting here hoping this water will boil," he's talking about that. This is the water he's talking about, that kind of water. Okay, the life-giving water. Okay? This is taking a long time because it's a small funnel and it's heavyweight gear oil, so we're pouring it in. But, so, those are the biblical references going on in this song. Now, does Neil Young know that? No. Okay? But that's what this song is about. It's inspired. He might not know what it's about. Of course he doesn't. But he's talented and all that. I give him, all the. I actually met Neil Young once at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when the night Bruce Springsteen was. I didn't meet him, but I was standing like 2 feet away from him. Okay. The night Bruce Springsteen was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But so let's go to the next verse. Okay. So if I was a junk man, selling your cars, washing your windows, and shining your stars, thinking your mind was my own in a dream, what would you wonder and how would it seem? Living in castles a bit at a time, the king started laughing and talking in rhyme, singing words between the lines of age. Words between the lines of age. I think I better take a rest here. Can you balance that? Can you balance that without spilling it? Don't get your jacket dirty. Can you do that? Just give me a little rest. Okay, so I want to look at this. I want to start with the king started laughing and talking in rhyme. Now, everybody, here's the ambiguity. Here's the double entendre. Okay, everybody thinks that means the king's words are rhyming. Okay, that's not what it means. Okay, I come along and I explain things to you. What it means is the king is talking in rhyme. Remember Howard Cosell, speaking of sports? It's like that. It's like Howard Cosell talking in sports. The king is talking in rhyme. He's talking in. It's a subject. The rhyme is he's talking in rhyme is the subject. Okay, so let's start with that. Even though that's that. Okay, so the king started laughing and talking in rhyme. It's a subject. Okay, he's talking in rhyme. All right, so we're going to fill this up, and when I interpret a song, it's very difficult for me to grasp the whole thing. I admit that. Like, for example, what is this words between the lines of age? Okay, so we know we're words. Between the lines of age. Now I'm a little less confident about what they're talking about there, but I think it has something to do with the word is kind of between the lines of these song lyrics. That's the closest I can come, is that the message is hidden in between the lines of these song lyrics that we're listening to. We've taken it for granted for year after year. But so just a couple of things about this song, with Neil Young being in the news so much lately, with Spotify and all that. So we're going to finish up this job and come back next time and talk some more about That song lyrics. Wait, what was that other one I wanted to talk about? What was that other one? Okay, that's good enough for now. Okay.